It's Brian from Winter Garden Yoga, and today I created a follow-along video to address tight hips. We're going to take a three-prong approach to get our hips nice and mobile. It should help with a stiff back, stiff hips, the whole shebang bang. You will need some kind of a self-massage tool. Today I'm using an alpha ball from Jill Miller, but you can use a lacrosse ball, you can use a foam roller, you can use a PVC pipe, you can use a tennis ball. I would not recommend using something as hard as a golf ball or something as squishy as a racquetball, but any of the aforementioned self-massage tools will help. Okay, so first, grab your self-massage tool of choice, and we're going to address our glutes. So here, I'm going to work on my right leg. So I'm going to place the ball directly under my right glute. My right leg is going to stay relaxed. I'm going to use my left foot and my hands to assist in moving myself forward and backward. So part of this process is you're looking for a hot spot. When you find a hot spot, you're going to know that you found a hot spot. It should feel like a dull, deep tissue massage. I beg your pardon, like a dull, aching, deep tissue massage feel. It should not feel like broken glass. It should not feel like fire or electricity. And you may find more than one hot spot, that's for sure, but try to pick the one where you feel it the most. So I've explored the muscles of my glutes. This right here where I'm stopping, this for me today is the hot spot. So I'm going to hold here and breathe here. I'm breathing in through my nose, and I may breathe out through my mouth. And I'm trying to stay relaxed. You see, I'm not grinding my teeth, I'm not putting stress in my neck, etc. Because we're trying to get those tight muscles to back off a little bit. Now, once you feel the hot spot cool off, move around to the next hot spot. This will change from day to day. You may discover a different hot spot tomorrow. You may have discovered a different hot spot yesterday. Which is nice and easy. You can use what's called cross friction. You go side to side, you can go up and down. I must be doing pretty good today because I'm not feeling a ton of hot spots, so that's good. The work is paying off. Now, if you like, pause the video and continue working on your right side. If you've had enough, or you just want to explore the left side, let's do that. Same thing. Massage tool on the ground. I'm going to lift myself up. My left glute is going onto the massage ball. I assist myself with my right foot and both hands, both arms. I'm trying to keep the left leg as relaxed as possible. And again, I'm just exploring. So I might feel 2 or 3 areas of opportunity. Let's call them areas of opportunity. And then I try to grade each one. I use a scale from 0 to 10. So the closer I get to 10, that's the higher priority for attention. So I found a couple on my left side, and I'm going to choose the one right here. It's definitely a solid 7. And you may not notice, you may not realize it because the tone of my voice doesn't change. I'm not making pain faces, I'm not groaning. And that just comes with practice. But believe me, this is not super comfortable for me. Now, as you're working through your hot spots, you're looking for 1, 2, or 3 things. 1, you're looking for the pain to diminish. 2, you're looking for a sense of release. Or 3, you'll feel both. A sense of release and you'll feel the pain lower. Good. In general, the consensus amongst all the professionals out there is you want to work each body part for 2 minutes at a time. We may not have spent 2 minutes on each of our glutes, but if it feels like you need to spend more time there, hit the pause button, work up to 2 minutes on each side. Now, we've done the glutes. We're going to do the opposing muscle group, the front of the hips. So, similar technique, but a different location. If you find your hip bone, the collegiate term is ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. So if you find your hip bone just beneath it, you'll feel some muscle tissue all through here. It's kind of like if you put your hand in your front pocket, all through that area, these are your hip flexors. Now, your hip flexors have a tendency to get short and tight because of all the sitting we do behind desks and behind cars, sitting on the couch, etc. We don't really flex our femur bone through its full range of motion. It just kind of gets stuck at 90 degrees. So let's take the massage tool of choice. We're going to find the hip bone and go just below the hip bone. You don't want to massage your bones. Make sure you're massaging soft tissue. So I've got my ball in place. I'm going to lie on my tummy. So same as before, I'm working on my left leg, so my left leg stays relaxed. I'm on my forearms, and my right foot and my forearms are going to be the things that help move me around for the self-massage. So I'm pushing and pulling with my right foot. I'm pushing and pulling a little bit with my forearms. And again, I'm just exploring to find areas of opportunity. Fortunately for me, today I'm lucky. I'm not feeling too many areas of opportunity. Here's one. So I'm going to hold here and breathe. I know this is not super exciting to watch, but it'll be very beneficial to do the self-massage. The self-massage is just going to help get your tissues unstuck, is the easiest way to explain it. We have soft tissues. Our skin is soft tissue. Muscles are soft tissue. The connective tissues are supposed to be soft. Veins are supposed to be soft. So the self-massage helps to soften the soft tissue. Once the soft tissue is soft, we mobilize it, and then we'll reset it. And we'll get to that in a second. So we were talking about a three-prong approach. This is the first prong. We address the soft tissues. And we address the soft tissues by using a self-massage tool, a lacrosse ball, or a foam roller. And we're looking for areas of opportunity, hot spots. If you find the hot spot, hang out on it, breathe. Wait until the pain drops, or wait until you feel a release, or wait until you feel both. On average, it's about 2 minutes. Okay, so we switch sides. If it feels like you need to stay on your left side more, hit the pause button and stay a little longer. If you're good to go, we'll go to the right side. Same thing, I find my right hip bone. The massage tool of choice goes right under the hip bone. I soften my right leg. It's my left foot and my forearms that are going to help. They're going to help with the self-massage. Now as I go through the self-massage, I'm looking for dull, achy, deep massage kinds of sensations. It shouldn't feel like glass breaking or pins and needles or stabbing, or it shouldn't be super painful. Now here's a hot spot for me, and I'm going to hold here and breathe here. So as I'm holding and breathing, I'm trying to relax. If you notice my right foot, it's just kind of loose and it's literally just hanging out there. I'm not holding tension in my face, I'm not holding tension in my shoulders. I'm trying to breathe through the mild muscular discomfort that I'm experiencing through my soft tissues. And that will just facilitate the relaxation response. If you're grinding your teeth or holding tension in your neck, or you're holding your breath, you're just keeping those muscles tight. You're keeping everything tight, the muscles and the connective tissues, etc. We're trying to free all that stuff up. Two minutes is the average per body part, per side. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less. The general guideline is wait until you feel the pain subside, wait until you feel a release, or wait until you feel both. If it feels like you need to stay longer, hit the pause button and stay a little longer. Now the second prong to getting our hips loosened up is going to be mobility. So come on, stand up, and let's get our feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointing forward. Bring your hands to your waist, and we're going to do hip circles. Now as we do the hip circles, we're going to do a series of contractions and relaxations on our glute muscles. And here's what I mean. I'm going to push my hips to my left. Now as my hips are to my left, I'm squeezing my left glute to get hip extension. Now I'm going to push both hips forward so both glutes are activated. That's hip extension. Shift to my right glute is extending my left hip. Now when both hips come back, it's more of a stretch. I may feel it switch into my hamstrings, but I stretch my glutes. Left glute, both glutes, right glute, hamstrings. Breathe. Breathe. And it may take you a second to get this. And it's okay. Just give yourself time, practice. And these are hip circles, but we're just doing them with intention. We're trying to use the glutes the right way, which is to extend the hips. Here the hip flexors are actually flexing the hip, and here the extensors are actually extending the hip. Let's go back the other way. So now it's right glute extending the right hip, both glutes extending both hips, left glute. Here we're kind of stretching the glutes but activating the hip flexors. And just breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Let's go one more. Good. And if you feel any tension, just shake tension off. And now the third prong, we're going to do some stretching. You may need a pillow or a volleyball knee pad for the knee that's going to be on the ground. But we're going to try to come to a kneeling position. So in this case, it's my right knee on the ground, my left knee is up. And I'm looking for a bunch of 90-degree angles, more or less. So my right knee is more or less directly under my right hip. Now, I'm going to keep my left foot relaxed, push down a little bit with my left foot, and draw towards my body. If I take my left hand and feel under my left hamstring, there's a contraction here. Now with the right side, it's the opposite. I'm going to tuck my pelvis under. I'm going to feel a contraction in my glute. So inhale, get tall. Exhale, and you're trying to contract both of these muscles so that you stretch out the front of your hip, and you're strengthening the back of the opposite hip. Hands can be on your knee if you like, hands can be by your side, but we're just holding and contracting here. I'm trying to get taller. Relax, and then we go again. Try to feel your left hamstring and get tall. Tuck your pelvis under. Now if your hips are really, really tight, it's going to feel like you want to tilt forward this way and get your lumbar curve here. We got to fight that. Tuck under, get tall. And you'll start to feel a stretch in your right front pocket. One more inhale. Exhale and release. Now we'll switch sides. I'll face you this time. Right foot on the ground, left knee on the ground. I'm trying to be as upright as possible. Right foot stays relaxed, and I'm going to drag my right heel towards my body. I'll feel the hamstring start to activate on the right side. Inhale, get tall. Exhale and tuck your pelvis under. So I'm trying to get taller, and my knee is pushing forward a little bit, and my heel is pulling backward a little bit. So it's giving me an isometric contraction on my hamstrings and on my hip flexors. Tall, ribs down. Hold here for a few seconds. Relax. Let's go again. One more contraction. Drag your right foot. Feel your right hamstring. Tuck your pelvis. Feel your left glute. Tall. So you should feel a little stretch in your front left pocket. Breathe. Arms loose. You can put your hands here if you like, but I prefer to keep my arms loose. It just helps me concentrate on the muscle contractions and getting tall. And gently relax. Good. So that stretches the front of the hips. Now we do the inside and the outside of the hips. If it's possible, you sit in what's called a butterfly position. Soles of your feet touch. Your knees point out to the side. This is called resistance stretching. What I'm going to try to do is I'll take my hands, put them on the outside of my knees. I'm trying to push my knees closed with my hands, but my knees are going to resist towards the ground. This is called eccentric training as well. So I'm strengthening my outside hips as I'm lengthening them. Okay? So I'm going to put my hands here, inhale. As I exhale, I'm trying to close my knees, but my knees resist. Relax. 2. Relax. If I push too hard with my hands, my knees are going to slam shut. If I resist too much with my knees, I won't get any mobility whatsoever. So it's got to be just a little bit of resistance. Once you get the hang of it, you can add more and more resistance. Just be mindful of your elbows, shoulders, hands, chest. For this one, for this stretch, where we're stretching the outside of the hips, you want to do about 10 to 15 repetitions. Good. Now we go the opposite. I'm going to try to push my knees down, but my knees are going to resist up. So bring my knees up. Get your forearms inside of your knees. I'm pushing down with my forearms, leaning forward a little bit, and I'm resisting with my knees. Once I'm at the maximum stretch, I keep the tension, back off, then reset. 2. 3. It's important to keep the tension in your legs after your arms come off, then release. You don't want to push yourself when you're already in a pretty deep passive stretch. For the inner thighs, for this stretch, you want to do somewhere between 5 and 10. Good. Shake your legs out. Stand up. And just see how you feel. Do you feel a little more balanced between left and right? Do your hips feel level? Do you feel better? Low back pain gone or diminished? Hip tightness gone or diminished? Let me know in the comments below. And I recommend doing this every single day, 7 days a week, for about 12 weeks. And I know it sounds crazy, but science has shown that it takes a while for soft tissues to learn new habits and be receptive to new things. There's a whole science behind that. But the main message is be consistent. Do it every single day. And let me know how it goes for you. Awesome. Thanks.